And we get reaction now from a member of the House leadership. He is Democratic Representative Ben Ray Lujan of New Mexico. He is an assistant speaker of the House. Representative Lujan, hello and welcome to the NewsHour. What's your reaction to all this, to the president's moving as he did on the shutdown?
Well, Judy, thank you for having me today. And look, I think that we're all moving forward now that the president has finally agreed to open up the government. This could have happened 34 days ago. This is very resembling of a deal that was put forth before the shutdown began back in December. But nonetheless, what's most important about this is that federal employees are going to be paid. Services are going to come back to life. The safety that we heard about with the concerns coming from air traffic controllers, flight attendants, and other federal employees surrounding our nation's skies is something that we can now move forward swiftly to make sure everyone is safe again. But I'll tell you, just this last week, having had a chance to go and participate with Chef Jose Andres at his food pantry, seeing the number of federal employees that had to come in to be able to find that next meal, there is concern with how people were treated during all of this. And what I would just suggest, the lack of empathy that existed within the administration, the president himself.
Well, let me ask you, we heard Chuck Schumer, Senator Schumer, the minority leader in the Senate, say today that he hopes the president learned a lesson from this. Does all the blame lie on the president for this?
Well, the president invited the cameras into the office with Speaker Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, then Minority Leader Pelosi, but the president said himself that he would take full responsibility for the shutdown. And I think that absolutely the president needs to own up to that fact. It was during a time that Republicans controlled the House and the Senate. And then beginning day one on the House floor, after we elected Nancy Pelosi Speaker of the House, we began to move different pieces of legislation, including continuing resolutions to open up the government. But this isn't about looking back, it's about looking forward.
And let me ask you, let me ask you about that, because the president said today that he is going to insist, even though he didn't get it in this temporary agreement, he's going to insist that there is some money for a physical barrier at the border in a permanent funding agreement. Are Democrats prepared to go along with some money for that?
Well, I've been very clear about my position on this. I do not support the president's wall. I believe that it's a third-century solution to the challenges that we face.
Any portion of the wall is what I'm asking.
Look,
go ahead.
There are many areas where we should find agreement between Democrats and Republicans, even that the president has stated pertaining to border security. Democrats have laid out a very aggressive, modern, effective infrastructure plan that focuses directly on our ports of entry, using technology to scan the vehicles and cargo containers that are coming into America, understanding that to address the concern that we all have, including the President of the United States, with the flow of narcotics coming into the United States, 90% of the heroin, 88% of the cocaine, 87% of methamphetamines come to the ports. So let's make those investments looking there, in addition to the 3,000 vacancies that exist with custom agents and also with judges.
Excuse me, I understand that, but what I'm saying is the president says that part of that formula, part of it is money for a physical barrier. At one point, Democrats appeared to be ready to come to agree to, what is it, $1.3 billion for a physical barrier. Is that willingness still there?
Judy, again, I've been very clear about my position. I do not support the president's wall.
So not a penny, not a dollar?
I do not support the president's wall, not one penny, not $1. But what I do believe is that where we will find common ground is making investments that are modern, that are effective, that pertain to border security, and that bring more attention to the infrastructure required, not just on our ports of entry with the southern border, but the northern border, the water ports, as well as airports. So
does that mean at the end of this 3-week period, we could be right back to where we are now if the president continues to insist, as he is now, that there be some money in here for a barrier?
Well, the president, during his remarks at the Rose Garden today, himself threatened another shutdown. He himself said that we could be at a standstill at the end of this 3-week period. And when he suggested he may declare an emergency, which again would be filled with challenges. But nonetheless, how can we move forward in a bipartisan way to make sure we're making strong investments as it comes to modernizing our border? And I believe that's what Democrats have laid out, and you'll continue to see that in the upcoming days.
Do you see, just quickly, any give on the part of the Democrats?
I think the Democrats are willing to work with the president and with our Republican counterparts in the House and the Senate when it comes to a modern infrastructure package, especially as it pertains to border security. And I'm looking forward to a robust conversation about that, and let's see where we land up.
Representative Ben Ray Lujan, Assistant Speaker of the House, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.